Coming up, there are so many myths when it comes to travel planning with a Smart Moms travel agent, and we are going to bust those up today, followed by a very special interview with another Smart Moms travel agent that y'all don't know.
We're going to make sure you remember all of the things. You're not going to forget. You're not going to have to worry about it and have that on your plate. We've got you covered.
Hey y'all, it's LJ here, owner and founder of Smart Moms Plan Disney and Smart Moms Travel. We are so glad you're here for another episode of the Smart Moms Plan Disney podcast. Now, here's your host, Allie.
Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Smart Moms Plan Disney podcast. I am your host, Allie, here today with Katie and Stacy, and we are cracking myths. We know that you have thought these things before. We're going to crack them wide open here in just a little bit, and I cannot wait to do it. But before we do, y'all, we've been talking about these theme days, and today I sent my kids off to school. You know what it was?
Was today your Disney day?
Hat day.
It was not hat day. Okay, see, now I'm even more angry. Okay. I sent a picture.
You're angry at a guess.
Yes. First of all, it was Mickey and Minnie Day. Okay. And
Okay.
that was very exciting for me. And I sent a picture to our large group chat of our agent team friends. And I said, oh, look, today we understood the assignment. And my twins were dressed as Mickey and Minnie. And everybody's like, oh, so cute. And one of our friends said, I love that you had hat day. And I was like, no, it's not hat day. I'm like, maybe I didn't, and then Katie comes here and on the podcast says hat day. No, it was Mickey and Minnie Day. And it was so cute.
They are very cute. They do look a lot like Mickey and Minnie today.
Okay. Katie is underselling this. Okay. They do look a lot. My daughter has a red and white polka dot dress and Mickey and Minnie ears on. Like, I'm gonna have to share this photo, and then you tell me where you get hat day. I'm like, it's Mickey and Minnie.
So someone mistook the ears for a hat?
It was, yes, one of our podcast friends.
They were not even wearing hats?
Well, my son has a hat, but it's a black hat with Mickey ears on it.
How funny.
It's mildly funny. It's more annoying than funny because I'm like, oh, nailed it.
The truth comes out.
I send this pic to my friends. I'm like, look how cute they are. And they're like, oh, hat day. It's ridiculous. So then when I sent it to my mom, I was blasting this picture out here because I thought it was so cute. I sent the picture to my mom and I texted her Minnie and Mickey Day. And then that sounded really weird. Like, do you all say Mickey and Minnie or Minnie and Mickey?
It's got to be Mickey and Minnie, right?
It's Mickey and Minnie. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Mickey and Minnie. But when I texted my mom, I said Minnie and Mickey Day. Isn't that like, why did I do that? And why do we say things is it because like we're conditioned to say that? Because Minnie and Mickey just sounds wrong, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess. So our friend that said, oh, is it hat day? My kids have the, spirit days at school and stuff like that. We've never had Minnie and Mickey Day, and we're right here in Central Florida.
Well, my first graders teacher, she's obsessed with Disney. Everything in their classroom has been Disney themed all year. Like their name is written on Mickey bars. She's a DVC member.
Oh, I love that.
We're all in on Disney with the first grade teacher, which is amazing. Shout out to her if she's listening. But first of all, she didn't ask if it was hat day. Okay. It was Danielle. She works behind the scenes on the podcast here. Her presence is felt in the podcast all the time. She didn't say, is it hat day? She said, I love that they have hat day. She was confident that this is what we were dressed up as. So I started my day feeling one way, and now I'm feeling a whole other way.
Gosh. We love you, Danielle.
Too funny.
And then I said Minnie and Mickey Day, and things just got weird from there. It's just one of those weird days. Would you ever say, I'm going to go drink and eat around the world at Epcot?
No.
No, because you would say, no, you wouldn't. Katie, stop analyzing this.
Well, I feel like there's just such a prevalence of people who do go around World Showcase to drink, and eating is kind of the afterthought.
So you think that people say the one that they're there to do most? Like they would say, I'm going to drink and eat because because I want to drink more than I want to eat around World Showcase, but I still say I'm going to eat and drink around the world. I'm going to eat and drink around the world.
I think people might say drink around the world, period.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But I don't think, I think if they're doing both, they're going to say eat first.
Yeah, I think that's probably right.
Eat and drink around the world. Yeah. The order you say things, like even like my wife and I, like people rarely ever say Allie and Xandra. Like it's always Xandra and Allie. It just flows better. Sounds weird when you say it the other way.
This is funny because we know you like primarily more so than we know Zan. So I would say Allie and Zan. Isn't that funny? Yeah.
Really? That's super weird. Okay, so I guess people that don't know Mickey and Minnie might say Minnie and Mickey, and they also might mistake it as Hat Day, I guess. I don't know.
Do you ever feel like with Stacy and I in particular, like they always list the husband before the wife whenever it's like a Mr. and a Mrs.?
Yeah, that's just old school. That's just like saying you're Mr. and Mrs. Matt Boone.
Yeah, that's true. I just have such a domineering personality. Matt is so sweet and gosh, I love Matt. He's kind of my docile personality and just along for the ride. So I think maybe my name comes first, even though it's more traditional for his to come first. I don't know.
My husband has a sister with my same name, Stacy. So
Mhm.
we've had to always throw in some sort of qualifiers to differentiate which Stacy we were talking about. And that just started out young in our relationship. So I think even with my family, my parents will even say Donnie and Stacy more so than Stacy and Donnie, even though they knew me first.
That's
But I
really
always
funny.
said everybody likes Donnie better than me. I mean, it's
Uh,
just the way
Yeah.
it is. I mean,
So you say the thing we say first is the one we like better, and Katie says it's the more domineering one, and I just think it's the one that flows.
yeah, I mean, I think there's something to do with Donnie's having a sister named Stacy, and so they're characterizing that. I mean, the Stacy that goes with Donnie. I think that Donnie's just liked better. Yeah, I just know that. I know that
that's so
everywhere I go.
funny.
There is no way that's true.
Oh, it's pretty true. You could ask most anybody. Yeah, he's very popular. He's well liked.
He's the more likable spouse. Katie, are you the more likable spouse or is Matt?
I mean, it really depends at what point in your life you knew Matt. Matt was very likable in his army days. He's just always been kind of a little bit shy and reserved. Matt and I, on our first 3 dates, I did all the talking. I know neither of you are shocked by this at all. I did all the talking, and Matt was a gentleman, and he would ask me out on the next date, and it was very sweet and cute. But by the time he asked me out on the third date, I was like, "Sure, I'll go on another date with you, but if I'm being honest, I kind of felt like you're indifferent to me because you don't say anything." And so after that, he really sort of opened up with me. And I mean, it's all history after that. We got married within a year of knowing each other. I definitely have a very vibrant personality. That's my answer to that question.
So you're the more likable.
Yeah. If we're gonna go into in some of our early dating time, have I ever told you the story that Donnie and I are we kind of have a confusion about which date we consider our first because the first time we were together at a movie theater, just the two of us by ourselves, was originally a group outing. And when a couple of our friends, like I think our original group was going to be like 6 people, and two dropped out, and I ended up contacting the other 2 and asking them to also drop out so that Donnie and I could be on a date by ourselves.
Stacy,
And
you
so
dirty dog.
I arranged our first together time, and I was like, "Man, can you believe it? Nobody else can go. Do you just wanna go anyway?" And he's like, "Sure." And we went on that. So that's kind of our first date, but then he did officially ask me out for the 2nd
Oh my
date,
God.
and then so we say the 2nd date is our official first date, which is Harrison Ford's birthday.
Aw,
We were at a Harrison Ford movie July 13th. Happy birthday, Harrison Ford. It's coming up. And I hope he hears this.
Stacy.
And
Stacy, that is such a good story for so many ways. First of all, you were on a date that he wasn't on. Second of all, I really think that you need to go on a Disney cruise immediately so you guys can do the. Oh wait, you are
we're
going on
going in one in
one.
February. Yeah.
Wait. You have to play the know your spouse game.
Okay. Okay.
Like now they're going to ask you some uncomfortable
Okay.
questions publicly.
Sure.
So you have
Sure.
to be prepared for that. But that is going to be the best story when you tell the story that you were on a date that you arranged that he didn't know he was on.
Yeah.
I just got so excited. The marriage game on or the know your spouse game on a Disney cruise is my favorite thing to do every single time. My friends want it. I've said that on the pod before because they always pick the couple that's been together the least amount of time that's in the room, the couple that's been together the longest amount of time. Which how many years have you and Donnie been together?
31 years.
That might not be long enough. There's
Yeah.
people that have been like
Yeah.
up over, but then the third couple is always just audience pick.
Okay.
And so you could get that third spot
Okay.
and it is so fun. So So my friends, they got the third spot of just the audience pick couple. Zan and I almost got it once. We got it narrowed down to us and one other couple. But those questions are so like it would be so good. Now I just want to come on your cruise so I can hear you all play that.
Yep.
I'm gonna be pulling for you. I'll be messaging you like, Stacy, did you play? Did you play? Did you play?
Yeah, I'm sure we'll try.
That's so
We
funny.
will do what we can do to try.
I'm sure everybody would say Zan is the more likable spouse in my relationship, but that's just because I'm more of a private. Like I can be more private, but when you get to know me, I think people.
I think that you both have very outgoing personalities. Like you guys are you match.
I don't know. I think Disney Alley is her own persona, maybe.
Are you saying we don't really know you, Allie?
No,
We only know
no,
Disney
no,
Alley.
no. No, you know all Allie, but I don't know. It's just it's a funny thing to think about. All right, we're going to take a quick break and stop making ourselves feel bad because our spouses are more likable than us. And we're going to address, except for Katie. Katie's the more likable spouse. And when we come back, we are going to talk about some myths we know aren't true. We're going to bust them up when we come back.
Hey, wait. I know you're ready to get back to the podcast, but I've got something very simple for you to do. Join my Facebook group, Disney Planning Made Simple. I'm Stacy, one of your podcast hosts, and I have a sweet, friendly Facebook group made for those of us who thrive in the simple pleasures of life, things like family, food, and Disney. Join at facebook.com/groups/Disney Made Simple or follow with the link in the show notes. We'll be so happy to see you there.
Hey there, friends. I'm Katie Boone, one of your podcast co-hosts. I'd love to invite you to join my Facebook Disney planning community called Planning Disney with Babies, Toddlers, and Preschoolers. In my group, I love discussing all the aspects of planning your magical vacation with little ones. Find my community at facebook.com/groups/Plan Disney with Little Ones. Again, that's facebook.com/groups/Plan Disney with Little Ones. When you join, don't forget to tell me you heard about my group on the podcast. See you there.
Okay, it is no secret here. We address it all the time. We are travel agents for Smart Moms Travel. We book travel, we book travel to all destinations, but with a primary focus, obviously, of Disney destinations. That is our jam. That is what we love the most. And we have noticed that a lot of people have a really big misunderstanding of what it might be like to book with a travel agent. And there are all these myths that are floating around out there. And we want to play Mythbusters today and address whether or not any of these hold any truth at all. And as we go through, Katie and Stacy, I mean, please tell me if these are things you've actually heard, because they are things I have heard. I've been doing this for nearly 4 years now. Katie, you started like right after me. Is it nearly 4
Yeah,
years?
it's coming up on 4 years. I started in October of 2021.
Actually, this is like right now as we're recording this, it's been like 4 years for me. I think the end of May in 2021 was when I started. So it's been a really long time. And I did it because I knew I wanted to take my family to Disney a bunch. I grew up going to Disney all the time. And I knew if I wanted those trips to happen every single year, I was going to probably need a little side hustle to make it happen. So I became a Smart Moms agent so I could literally take my family to Disney every single year. And that's what I do.
Mm-hmm. And you kill it.
What about you? What happened with y'all? Why did you do this?
I actually came in right around the same time as you all. I think I was November of 21. And it was such a random, oh, look, there is a button where I can apply to be a Smart Moms agent. I knew of Smart Moms from social media and just clicking around and going down a rabbit hole. And there's an apply button. Oh, I wonder what this looks like. Click. And it just went from there. And I did not expect to be accepted into anything. And I was working a part-time job as it was and homeschooling. Then when Smart Moms came around with wanting to have a podcast, I talked to my husband and said, I think I would like to apply for this. And if I get chosen to be on the podcast, I might try to quit this other part-time job and maybe see if I can make it work. And lo and behold, Allie called and said I was on the podcast. Very soon after, I
Mm-hmm.
quit my little part-time job and have been doing all of this full-time ever since.
That is how that works.
I love that. I love that so much. I had planned my own trip for our first family trip in September of 2021. And I had done all this research and everything, like getting my stinking degree in how to go to Disney, right? I invested so many hours into figuring out how to do Disney, right? My friend had mentioned, "Hey, have you seen this Smart Moms Facebook group?" And so I joined it and I was like active in the community there. And after we went on our trip, I said to Matt, I was like, this doesn't have to be our once in a lifetime trip. Like, people just come to Disney whenever they want. Like, people live here. And then, like, 6 months later, I was like moving to Florida. I upended my whole life. I applied to become a Smart Moms agent in October. I was denied initially. Did you know that? I got the
I did
denial letter.
not.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
And
Whoa.
I messaged LJ back and I was like, listen, I know that I don't have as much experience going to Disney as other people, but I said, if you look in the Facebook group, you'll see that I offer insights from my recent trip, and I feel like I would be really good at this. And so she took a chance and she hired me on as an agent. And
Wow.
yeah.
She does take chance. I mean, LJ, obviously, who owns the
Hmm.
Smart Moms Travel, she likes to take a chance on people and give them the opportunity to make it happen. There's now
Hmm.
hundreds of agents, and we have a great time, y'all. Like, changed all our lives. You know what I mean? And I want to talk about these myths. I will say all the time, are you going to plan with a Smart Moms agent? You know, there are literally hundreds of us, right? Are you going to use the Smart Moms agent to plan your vacation? It's free, whatever. People will say, no, I like to do all the planning myself. I plan my
Hmm.
own trips.
Yep.
Do you all hear that one a lot?
Primarily. That is, I hear that all the time.
Yep.
Let's talk about why this is not an accurate reason not to use a Smart Moms agent. First of all, you don't lose control of your planning when you plan alongside an agent. All you gain is access to an expert
Yeah.
that's also going to become a Disney bestie. And can still, if you're a person that likes to do their own planning, you can choose to do that, right? You can do all of your own research. You can make your itinerary. You can choose to book your dining. You can choose to do those things if you like to.
I was going to bring up how many times helping people who think they knew everything are
Hmm.
shocked to find things they
Yeah.
didn't know.
Absolutely a great point. And not to call somebody who feels like an expert not an expert, but I think we're all learning all the time, right?
That's exactly it.
And that's the thing. We live these busy lives, and even if you like to do all your own planning, but using a Smart Moms agent means that you don't have to track when a promotion drops or something like that. Even if you want to do the research on what the promo offers because you like doing your own planning, but somebody else can tell you it's coming down the pipe, that alone is worth saying, yeah, you can still do most of your planning, but you've got somebody on your side. Don't you want somebody in your corner?
Yeah, I feel like that's exactly it. I like just having somebody in my corner, somebody that can represent me and make the phone calls for me or whatever needs to happen. But if I'm being honest with you, like, I had booked my own trip before I became an agent, and that was because I was this person who I was like, I have to handle all of my plans. And in hindsight, I was like, that was so stupid of me because I said I was spending hours trying to figure out how to do Disney right. If I had just booked with a Smart Moms agent, I would have had all of these resources at my fingertips that I wouldn't have had to do all that I did.
Resources exactly where I was going, particularly for the mom who enjoys doing all the plannings. Their minds are blown when the resources that I have, you have, we have, when I share them, they're like, "Oh my goodness, this just fills me up with so much joy to have even more research to look through, to even have more explanations and opportunities." And there's so many times that they're just so surprised, like, this is something I didn't know. So I think the idea that wanting to plan yourself and that we're going to somehow rob somebody of that joy of planning is just completely not true. It's such a myth. And the resources that we have, I just cannot overemphasize.
They're so
The
good.
other than just the beautiful resources we have, we're going to make sure you do not forget when it's time to plan your dining reservations. You're not going to forget when it's time to make your final payment. You're not going to forget these things because we have it set up for you. We're going to make sure you remember all of the things. You're not going to forget. You're not going to have to worry about it and have that on your plate. We've got you covered.
Yeah, exactly. And if you do like planning yourself, like you mentioned some of the resources, the bonus platform right inside Smart Moms, like if you do like planning yourself and you can get your hands on our kids planning guide, which is just pages and pages and pages of a book basically that you can download for your kids and you can plan this trip out and they can have decisions of the vacation that they're going to go on. If you like planning yourself, you need that.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know what I
Yes.
mean? Like, this makes it easier to plan for yourself if that's what you want. And of course, these are things we will do for you. But if you are of the mindset in the myth that I like to do my own planning, then you need these
Yes.
things.
Yes.
You need the resources.
I'm so glad that you mentioned the kids planner, because the kids planner is such a huge resource. If you want your kids to be part of the planning, it's fantastic. I love our printable height chart. Our height chart is fantastic. We have like crafts to help you count down and build that anticipation for your kids.
Stroller signs. There's like stroller signs to mark your stroller while you're there. If you like planning, these are things you
Yes.
need
Yes.
in your
Yeah,
planning
we even
toolkit.
have like the escape room. If you want a really fun way to tell your kids that you're going on a trip, we're going to help you with that part too. Like, we got resources coming out our ears.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things where I always tell people you can use me as much or as little as you'd like. I want to be as hands-on as I can possibly be, and if that's not what you want, and honestly you just want to help a small business and gain the resources that I can offer because you did, that's
Mhm.
fine too.
Mhm.
All right, busted up that myth. Planning yourself means you actually do want a Smart Moms travel agent, because we're going to give you the resources and bonuses and toolkit that you need to actually plan the best trip you
Mhm.
possibly can. Don't navigate blindly.
And we have a really awesome podcast you may want to listen to.
That
Yeah,
too.
right. Here's another myth that I hear all the time. I will save money if I book on my own, and using a Smart Moms agent will cost me more. I don't have extra money to pay a travel agent. Myth, myth, myth,
Mhm.
myth, myth. Not with Smart Moms, y'all. You know, I don't like to say free, right, on the podcast. I like to say included. I like to say included. And if you're a new Smarty, maybe you haven't heard me say that before, but truly the services of a Smart Moms travel agent included. Most people don't realize that Disney builds the cost of a travel agent into your package, whether you use it or not. So when you don't use it, you're leaving, money on your table, a resource that you paid for on the table,
Mhm.
right? It's not costing you extra. Disney pays us, so you don't have to, and you get all the perks.
Yes, your Smart Moms travel agent itself. We are a resource to you, right? If you have questions, you can text Allie, you can text Stacy, you can text me and say, hey, what do I need to know about lightning lanes? You can say, what stroller should I be renting? Things like that. We are happy to answer those questions and be there for you at a moment's notice. But the other really great thing that we do as Smart Moms travel agents, not only is there no fee for using our services, we're going to save you money a lot of the time too, right? Because we monitor promotions to ensure that you are getting the best deal. As soon as Disney drops a promo, we jump in, and even if you're already booked, we are getting those deals for you.
That's exactly right. Even on my most recent Disney cruise, I got up early at like 5 a.m., I think, and grabbed a coffee and went up on the top deck and applied promotions to client packages from the top of the cruise ship. It was the most beautiful office I've ever had. And I actually loved it. I had on my new cruise line sweatshirt, and I was like, it was chilly and windy up there. And I had a coffee, and I was just applying promos. It was so much fun. It was great. And I was on vacation and I was doing it.
Mhm.
So not only is booking with a Smart Moms agent going to not cost you additional money, but it's going to save you money in the long run, and it's going to save you stress, right? If you can save a headache and a stress and you can capitalize on something you're going to be paying for anyway, why not? You know what I'm saying? I can't bust this myth up enough. This is free/included for you and your package and your travel.
You're funny how you kind of get stuck on included. I'm like, free for free, 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 free.
It's because of my kids, I don't want them to think things are free. When we go and we're doing things, I'm like, that is included. That is included.
Sure.
There was a price that was paid somewhere. I promise you. And I paid it, so I know. So I teach my kids that. I guess here talking on the podcast to adult smarties, I can just say, hey, this is free. But my mind is so into included and the difference between free and included. And our smarties have picked up on that in our Facebook community. Like they'll be like, Allie, look what was included on my vacation.
I like to say that our relationship as your travel agent is mutually beneficial, because it doesn't cost our clients a dime to work with us. They
Mm-mm.
just book through us. but they get all the benefits of working with us and, the warm and fuzzies of supporting a small business and another mom who's just trying to make ends meet for her family.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, if you can help a small business and it doesn't cost you anything
At
at
all.
all, you're not paying any extra, you're already going. I promise you, there are no hidden fees here. I had a friend of mine actually say to me, this is another myth. He actually said to me, I know I'm paying for this somewhere. You're hiking up the price somewhere. I was like,
Oh,
I'm not. There's no price increase anywhere. You can price compare straight on the Disney website. You will see that to the penny, it is the same. There is not going to be a hidden fee later. And he believed me reluctantly.
It's
And,
true though.
he came to find out that there was no hidden fee, no pennies that were being counted later, and busted up that myth for him too.
Smart Moms Travel is an authorized Disney vacation planner. So you are working directly with professionals who are certified travel agents. We're going to get it done for you. We're not going to do anything to undermine you. Actually, if I can save my clients more money, that's better because I want them to feel like you can go to the magic again and again.
Yeah.
I want you to realize how doable Disney really is. I'm not here to charge you money for that. I just want you to see that it is doable for you to create these magical moments with your families.
Yeah. And we do. I mean, I just literally watched this morning, one of our Smart Moms travel agent friends shared a video in one of our communities that we have of one of her clients telling their kids that they're going to Disney World. And I was crying. You guys, these are not
Oh my gosh.
this was not a family
Yeah.
I helped. This is another travel Smart Moms agent. These are not children I know. And I'm just like,
I know.
I'm in awe that this is what we are able to do. And these kids are crying. And I'm just like,
It's the best.
and by the way, she had permission to share it, of
Yeah.
course.
It's the
And it
best.
was just, it's amazing.
The
Yeah.
magic never
Okay.
dies. It really never dies. Every Mickey hug, every first time you see the castle.
And I genuinely have great joy when my clients go and feel like professionals. They feel so confident when they're going to Disney World because we have prepared. They have followed and read along in their resources. They've asked questions. We've talked about it. They've listened to podcasts. And by the time they get there, it's not stressful for them anymore. They know what they're walking into and they can enjoy it. And that is fun for me. That is great motivation to continue serving as a travel agent because it is so fun to know that families are experiencing Disney without the stress, all the magic. It is such a rewarding thing that I get to do. I'm truly grateful.
I agree. All right. This myth kills me. People say all the time, I can save a lot of money by booking through a third party vendor.
Mm.
I'm looking at, vacation packages offered through something like Costco or AAA memberships. And here's the deal. Those third-party vendors, they sell travel. They do not service travel. You are losing out somewhere where you are saving in price. You are giving away in service and resources and bonuses and help and guides and planning. You are giving up a lot to save what I feel is a little.
That's true. And sometimes they even have more restrictive cancellation policies. You can't modify your trip. If you do need to modify your trip, you're calling on your own. Like, they're not getting on the phone for Disney for you, right? That's what we do. If you have a family emergency and you need to change anything with your trip, we are in your corner to intercede on your behalf and to say, hey, this is what's happening, and make sure that you get a positive outcome.
When you're looking at that little savings that you may get through one of these third parties, no one is talking when you're buying through them about those changes or questions that may arise. Nobody's in your corner. That is not what they are there for, right? They're not going to take into account the promos that may drop. I have people that I am helping that are not going until October of 2026. And as we're recording this, it's May of 2025. That is how far out I have families booked to travel.
Yeah.
Between now and then, things could very easily come up for these families where we need to make adjustments. I am 99.9% confident that a promotion could drop. We're never guaranteed these things, but history says probably something will come available. And guess who's going to be watching that, whether I'm on a cruise ship or not?
Right.
Right? I am going to be watching, and you know who isn't? Third-party vendors.
Exactly.
And
yeah,
let me tell you, have a hurricane come through and some
Mhm.
adjustments are needed to be made for your vacation. Third party vendors doesn't care. And You're going to be on a phone call that could be on hold for hours and hours and hours. And I think that in and of itself is totally worth whatever price difference. Just trust me on
So
that one.
hurricane season is months long in Disney. And for back-to-back years, there have been hurricanes that closed the parks for 2 years straight. And last year specifically, I remember there were back-to-back hurricanes. There was like 2 weeks apart. And I had so many families traveling and I was trying to help them figure out their plans, right? Because they all had to reroute. And as soon as I would get the information from one family, I would not wait to get it from other families. I was calling immediately because I didn't want to miss out for them. And I was doing hours upon hours of holds and wait times, 4 hours, and then I would hang up and immediately another family would say, okay, here's our new game plan. This is what we want. And I'd be calling again. And, for us at Smart Moms Travel, like there's no wait time that's too long. We have to get it changed. It's our top priority. Can you imagine how stressful that would be if you're supposed to leave for Disney in 2 days and now everything has to reroute and you have to deal with everything at home that you now have to get in place? And here's this piece that you just don't have to worry about.
That is one way that we as Smart Moms travel agents are very committed to you, our clients. As someone who is a Disney World local, let me just say, all the locals, like if a hurricane is coming, they go to Disney because Disney is built for withstanding a hurricane. I was silly and did not book a room fast enough. And then I had to evacuate clear up into Georgia. I had to drive several hours away from my home to evacuate for the last hurricane. And even while we are evacuated, I am making phone calls on hold for hours in Disney, making sure that my clients are taken care of, even whenever I'm displaced. We are here in your corner through the end, to the bitter end.
Yeah, when you book a third-party vendor, you're saving a little to give up a lot. And I just think a lot of people don't realize all of the possibilities that could come up between booking and travel and all of the stuff you're really giving up. That's the best way I can say it. I just think it's a myth that that is ever going to be worth it on any level.
Well, I feel like it's fair to point out too, like sometimes when you book third party, it happens pretty often that that's not the best deal by the time your travel dates happen, right? Like another promo comes up in between now and then, and you're locked in with this one because when you book third party, maybe their policies are more stringent and you can't really do anything about that, right? But if you booked with a Smart Moms agent, we're going to save you more money and you didn't have to go through all the hassle of it.
Yeah, I'm sure it's true for the two of you as well, and all of us Smart Moms agents, where, we may have had one promo applied and then we're able to send those emails that say, hey, not only did I save you money, but now you have this upgraded view that you weren't even expecting and you've saved $1,000 and now you have an upgraded park ticket or now your dining is free, whatever it is. We're looking at these things and we're surprising clients with value for less all the time. And nobody is doing that in your corner when you're booking third party. So I think a Disney planning mistake, if I'm being really honest.
I actually had a client this week who reached out to me and she was like, hey, I saw that we have 4-day park hopper tickets and they're also paying for the dining plan. And she was like, we really would like to go down to 3-day park hopper tickets. And I was like, I'm going to do the math for you on that real quick, but you have that on a promo right now. And I'm pretty sure that if we change to 3-day park tickets, you're going to be paying more money than if we keep your current promo and get the 4-day park tickets. So we are always in the background, crunching the numbers, doing what we can to make sure that it works to your best advantage. Whenever I showed her the numbers, I was like, it's going to be like $150 more if you take off a park day compared to if you just keep that park day.
Yeah.
And that's right.
We are Smart Moms travel agents. It is smart to use a travel agent. And I think sometimes the myths or inaccuracies or just misunderstanding of what it actually looks like to have somebody in your corner, to use somebody that's got your back, to capitalize on the resources and things you are already paying for, right? Disney knows that Disney planning is complicated and they want you to have somebody that's going to make it less complicated for you. I mean, for a first timer, it's more complicated than Europe, I swear. I say that all the time. I feel like it's worse than a foreign country because ADRs, lightning lane, people just don't understand what all those things are. You have somebody in your corner, you don't have to. All right, busted up some myths. Got to use your Smart Moms travel agent. We're going to take a quick break, do our Friend Like Me segment. You're going to listen to some more of those Smart Moms travel agents, hear what they're out there in the social media world doing. And if you're enjoying this episode and just learning more about us and what we offer, please consider sharing this with your friends and family. I know you know somebody that is planning a trip to Disney World and they could use this help by sharing this episode. That's the best thing you can possibly do to help us. Word of mouth and recommendations, 5-star reviews, helping people find us. That allows us to keep doing this for y'all and making your planning and just your weekly Disney magic possible. So, Friend Like Me, when we come back on the other side, I have an interview with another Smart Moms travel agent who's going to tell her story and about how she just makes things easier for her clients all the time. Hey there, girl moms. Go to Facebook and join our friend Jillian at Smart Moms Planning Disney with Girls. She has 3 girls of her own and she knows the ins and outs of going to Disney with girls. Want to meet the princesses? Let her and her 3 little girls show you the way. She has a teenager, a preteen, and a school-age little one. She knows exactly how to plan a great trip for them and she will share it with you. She will have all little girls feeling like princesses. Have a little one that's not into princesses? That's fine. She knows how to plan all of the experiences for you and your little ones. That's Smart Moms Planning Disney with Girls on Facebook. Stop what you're doing. Follow our friend Amanda at Just Dream Away Vacations on Instagram. Amanda is from Canada, and coming from Canada to Disney and Universal all the time with her family, she has all of the tips and tricks to make international journey with your entire family feel easy and breezy. She helps people all over North America, and not just in Canada, travel all over the world. So if you've been thinking, I want to take my kids somewhere new and different, she has tips for getting somewhere new. That's Amanda at Just a Dream Away Vacations on Instagram. All right, Smarties, I am here with another Smart Moms travel agent, Sarah Camden. She won an internal travel agent contest that we ran, and now I get to sit here and interview her and learn all about her to share with you. Hi, Sarah. Thanks so much for doing this with me.
Hi, Allie. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here and chat with you tonight.
Yeah. I want to just learn all about you and let our Smarties learn all about you and what it is you love about this job and what made you start this job. So let's start at the beginning. Well, I guess 2 questions. Number 1, why are you a Smart Moms agent? What was there like a moment of inspiration that led you here? And is Disney your main focus? Like, is that the thing you love to do the most?
Yeah, so if I can answer them in reverse, it might make more sense.
Okay.
Disney is my main market. It is the reason I'm here. It is what I help 90% of my clients plan, very successful Disney trips, which I was actually doing and dueling out free Disney advice to friends and family from my own personal trips for at least 3 years before I knew Smart Moms was a travel agency and I could be involved in getting paid to help my friends plan their very successful Disney vacations. So I am a very tried and true Disney adult, never having gone as a child. My first trip to Disney was 2014. I was 27, so my boyfriend at the time, now husband, convinced me that Disney was not just for kids. He had gone as a child, and it took a lot of convincing. I will tell you what sealed the deal. I agreed to go to Disney if he would let me go during Run Disney Marathon weekend and run the Goofy Challenge, where I did the half marathon on Saturday, followed by the full marathon on Sunday. Running is a big part of my life outside of being a mom and a travel agent. And so I agreed, okay, fine. If I'm going to go to this place, at least let me get what I want out of it. I'm going to go do some runs. And then we stayed and explored the park for a few days. And obviously the rest is history. I found out Disney is not just a place for kids. And we have enjoyed going back, him and I, before we had kids, and now many, many, many times after having kids, with our next trip coming up in just a couple weeks here. We're prepping right now. So when I found out Smart Moms was an agency where I could actually help people plan the trips that I had been taking and taking my kids on and sharing about it for free on the internet, it was like a no-brainer for me.
That is like the best answer ever. I have so much I need to unpack here. Okay. I have like a million follow-ups. Okay. First of all, you're so right. Point of clarity, right? You were helping your friends for free. You still are helping your friends for free because they're not paying you, right? Because as everybody, our Smarties and listeners know, Disney pays us so that they don't have to. So it's still free to them, but hey, you get paid along the way. Being a Disney adult First of all, we talk about that on the show all the time. I'm like, I don't understand that negative spin that people are saying. It's like such a trend right now that people are like, oh, I don't understand Disney adults. Disney adults are amazing, and you can unlock this huge passion for travel to this one destination even later in life. Where did you stay with your boyfriend, now husband, on that first trip?
We stayed at Pop Century.
I was about to say, do not say you stayed off site.
No, in all of our Disney trips, and again, this was, before I was an agent and everything, we did one offsite trip. In all of our, I will just say that in all of our Disney trips, we have done one and we have never done it again.
Yeah, and one was enough.
One was enough
One
to
was
learn that
enough.
there
Yeah.
is in fact a difference. And yeah, no, we will not be doing that.
So when you went for Run Disney, you probably experienced some crowds, which for a first-time Disney goer could have been a turnoff, but I guess the payout was you got to run. Did you get your medal from that first race, and do you still have it?
They're right here. I'm looking at all of them. He got me for that following Christmas. He got me a giant frame. My bib is framed. There's a photo of me running through Epcot framed. My 3 medals are hung in a plaque. It is the whole thing that he got me for Christmas that following year
My
after
gosh,
I did it.
you're making me want to cry. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Any of our smarties that are runners, first of all, you got to do Run Disney. You got to connect with Sarah so you can learn even more about running at Disney World. And do you still do Run Disney events? Do you do all of them?
No, so I don't do all of them. That has been my only in person. I am toying with heading back for Princess Weekend next year. But lately, since I've been in the throes of having several kids in the last few years, I have gotten involved in the virtual Run Disney races. So you can sign up to do them virtually. I did it 3 summers ago. I started as a way, I think after I had my second baby, just kind of getting back into a little bit of the racing spirit. I signed up for the summer run series where you do 3 5Ks, one in June, one in July, one in August. It was just a way to hold myself accountable to getting back to like something for myself after, having a couple kids. And so I really liked that. I kind of got the feel of it. They still send you really great swag. You get all the medals and all the fun stuff. So it's kind of a way.
You get medals?
Oh gosh, yeah, they're huge. Like when the box when the box comes, it is a massive swag bag and the medals are just massive and heavy and it is so cool. So I obviously love the bling of it. Yeah.
I am dying. I want to sign up for an at-home race and get a
Exactly.
medal.
And you just do it at home. I do it on the trail or whatever, near my house and just kind of do it as a way to just sort of stay competitive with myself. It's not like the same as a in-person running atmosphere, but it's still fun. It's still a way to feel connected to it. And so I've been doing those for the last couple years. I'm signed up again for the summer series. So I have a couple 5Ks on the docket for this summer. Yeah.
No, I'm with you. I want the bling. I want
It is some pretty sweet bling for sure.
I want the bling. Do you live somewhere that you can run multiple 5Ks in the summer and not melt?
I live in Pittsburgh. So
That's close to me.
Where are you?
I'm in Cincinnati, so there's a lot about your city that I don't love when it
Okay,
comes.
we're not making this a sports podcast, but we were just in Columbus last weekend. We were for the long weekend. We go out to Ohio. My husband's from Ohio, so
Okay.
we go out that way pretty often. It's drivable from here, for a weekend getaway.
Absolutely. I went to college in Pittsburgh, so I'm very familiar. So
Oh, where did you go?
I went to a dance school, Point Park University.
My husband and I went to Duquesne.
Oh my God. We're best friends, Sarah. We didn't even know it.
We should have met like years ago.
we cannot watch football together, but we can definitely we can be each other's virtual Run Disney competition. You could be competitive and we could both get bling.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so you've mentioned that you have had a lot of kids quickly. How many kids do you have and how old are they?
As of yesterday, they are 6, 4, and 2.
Oh yeah, babies, little ones.
We are in the thick of it over here.
Everybody's yelling all the time.
Like it was a miracle that as of right now, they're all 3 are still sleeping. I'm listening to upstairs. They're all asleep, so we're good.
I used to, when my kids were that age, they're a little older now. My parents would call me and they'd be like, call me when it's not so loud. And I was like, we will never speak again.
That is never, no.
But yeah, like if you needed to be quieter, call me in 3 years because we will never speak.
And also, they go to bed at 8, I go to bed at 9 because I am so tired. So tired all the time. I'm just in such a tired season of life right now.
Yeah.
But I hear it gets better or easier in some.
It does. Sometimes my kids are quiet now. Yeah. So that first trip then, that was the magical moment. And then you just found love. You helped other people for free because you loved it. That was similar to me as well. It's just I'm talking Disney all the time anyway. So let's just try to make something of this, right? And you
And it
found
is so funny because you know how you get Facebook memories from like your,
of
and
course.
it's always like the anniversary of our trips pop up, and I see my posts from being in Disney, and then I see like in the subsequent days I had posted, so many of you were asking about how we had such a successful trip, and like this is what I did. These are some of the things, and I'm dishing out my tips, my tricks, my insider, like all the secret stuff. I'm putting it out on these Facebook posts. Just here, have it. And I laugh so hard when I see those memories popping up now because so much of the content is still true.
Yeah.
They are still tips and tricks that I
Yeah.
utilize today with 3 kids instead of just 1. And they're the things I tell my clients to help them have really great trips with their young kids too.
Yeah. And you're just giving them out for free. Now they're like trade secrets. Hello. What was there like a moment on that trip that you thought, this is it? I'm officially all Disney, or was it one of those Disney blues? I came home and I can't stop thinking about
It
it.
was the realization, the thing I've heard, and I heard people say it, and you've probably heard people say it, and you've probably said it to others, and it doesn't make sense until you're there. But it is the fact that you feel different at Disney. I don't know, you can't explain it other than saying that, and until you experience it, you know what we're talking about. There's truly a different feeling. When I went there, I forgot I had responsibilities or a job or like life back home. Like it was just
Yeah.
something transformative about stepping into that bubble where you're like, I truly am so carefree, so happy, such a like my inner child is coming out, like all of these things.
Mhm.
It was just a feeling. It wasn't like a moment or a certain seeing something or doing something. It was just the all encompassing feeling that washes over you being there. And subsequently, it does go away when you leave.
Yeah. It's a harsh reality when you leave. There are a lot of tears. I love that. Yeah. What other chaotic place like Disney World can make you feel that calm, right? Like it is
Yeah.
calm in true chaos.
Yeah, and we talk about, you say you talk about crowds all the time, and I know there's not really too many true slow seasons at Disney. Everyone wants the secret.
No,
What's the lowest crowds? He's like, Disney is always busy to an extent, to a degree.
sure. Mhm.
But still, we've gone as a family, we've gone in March, we've gone in October, we've gone in some like heavy crowd times, and I can't say that I have ever felt the negative impact of like so many people
Yeah.
taking away from my experience. I mean, we are seasoned Disney veterans at this point and we know what we're doing when we go there, but crowds are not. That never takes away from the good feelings that I have and my family has together when we are there.
Yeah, I could not agree with you more. I mean, what do you think is the one or one of the biggest things that families you're working with will underestimate when it comes to planning their trip? Consistently, you just see this happening.
I think the one thing, and I did this my first time too, even the first time with kids. The first time with kids is different too. The amount of time it takes to get from point A to point B. I think people underestimate the size of Disney. Disney is massive. Because
Great
when
point.
people are just like, oh, like we're gonna go to the park for a little bit, then we're gonna take like a little rest at the hotel, and then we're gonna come back, and then we might take like a little break and go somewhere for dinner and come back. And I'm like, do you realize how much time out of your day you're talking?
Yeah.
We don't, even though I have 3 little kids, we don't always do midday breaks because the transit time that it takes to get from your park back to your resort and then get everyone settled down for some nap time and then get everyone back up again and get transit back to your park. That is a huge chunk of the day. We alternatively go early in the morning. We're early risers, early entry.
hmm
We hang till like dinner time. We have dinner and then we're kind of like calling it quits at about 6 or 7 o'clock. Like that's as long as we hang, but we have a full, however many hours that is, of solid park time versus like
Yeah.
taking 4 hours out of your day, maybe till you like go back to your resort, do the whole calm down situation and come back. I think people think that it's just like, oh, we're just going to park hop. That means just like do. Park hopping sounds like such a dainty little thing where you just like do. And it is not at Disney World. It is not.
It is not. No. I don't you think those midday break people who there are so many of them. There are those park warriors that are rope dropped to fireworks, right? And if you're a family that either ends early or starts late, that midday break almost stops making sense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think people underestimate like the size, and once you have kids in tow, everything takes longer. Getting out of your
hmm
room in the morning takes longer. Eating meals takes longer. All of the things just Kids slow you down. They're baggage, right?
Yeah, yeah. They're our baggage. We need to unpack that on another another podcast. So tell me, when you're planning for families, what is your favorite part of that process?
My favorite part is the personalization. I feel like when you're just, scouring a million Facebook groups and all the Instagram pages and the Pinterest boards, everyone makes it seem so cookie cutter. Like, this is how you have to do it in order to have a really
Mhm.
great trip. This is what you have to do. And that could not be further from the truth. I tell people all the time that anytime you see one of those best day ever at Disney videos online, they should have an asterisk and a caveat with them that says, for my family,
Love that.
because someone else's best day ever at Disney does not dictate what your best day ever at Disney looks like. For as many, I don't care if it's your sister or your best friend or your coworker or whoever it is, her Disney trip is not your Disney trip. So I love customizing Disney trips. When I have families that have very small children who do not meet the height requirement for all of the big name rides, your park day strategy is not going to look the same as a family who is prioritizing Tiana's and Tron and Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, your top 3 list might be Dumbo, Small World, and The Little Mermaid. And that's okay.
Right.
Whatever your family's priorities are, that's what we should be focused on making happen for your trip, so that you come home from your trip and you actually say, yeah, that was a trip worth taking. That trip exceeded all of my expectations because it was true to me and my family and our priorities. I think too many people just like get hung up on seeing the way other people do Disney and think that's the way they have to do Disney to make it be great.
I love the way you're wording this. You're making plan my trip, Sarah. Sounds so
You got
perfect.
it.
Honestly though, you're so right. It's the expectation versus what the actual reality is once you're there, because Instagram and Facebook, they make it look one way, and once you're in the thick of it and you're experiencing it, your family figures out what your family is
Mhm.
doing.
And I tell clients all the time, like, don't even get hung up on the way you see me do it. Like, when you see me in the parks doing it, we are an early entry family. We are roped, we are those early morning people. If you are not that, do not drag your kids out of bed to be rope drop people. I do that because my kids, at the ages they are, we're waking up at 5:30 a.m. It doesn't matter if we're at home or on vacation. So we're up that early. What are we going to do? Sit in our room and look at each other? No, we're going to get out the door and we're going to go on with our day and get it started. But that's because that's my family dynamic and that works for
Right,
us.
exactly. Yeah, that's beautiful. That's exactly right. Can you think of a trip that you've helped somebody plan, or a moment or a memory that just meant a lot to you?
I have a soft spot in my heart for like planning for friends. I did plan one of my best college friends, her family's trip this past March, and they were a family who had their kids are young, they don't meet the height requirements for a lot of things, and their priorities were a lot about meeting characters and doing some of those family friendly rides. They had one kid that was tall enough for some and one who wasn't, but they chose to only do the ones that they could all do together. They didn't want to split up for anything. And so, planning their trip obviously looked a lot different. They were going for all of those no height requirement rides as their priorities. And as they were just like tagging me in the videos, I mean, their son, one of his favorite parts of the trip, they stayed at Art of Animation it was a split stay, Art of Animation and Caribbean Beach, walking around to the larger than life statues at Art of Animation and thinking the Ursula statue at Art of Animation was like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah. Ugh,
They just fell in love. The kids fell in love with Phantasmic, and they were just singing the theme. They were humming the theme song. She sent me a video. They were humming the theme song in their resort room the following morning as they were waking up and kind of like getting going for the morning.
yeah.
And so just seeing them bring that special trip to life that looked so different than everybody else's, but it was so unique and so special to them and so spot on to them. I was so happy to bring that to life for them. By far, one of my favorites.
And mom's like, Sarah, book our next stay immediately. We can never live
Yeah,
without this again.
exactly. And you know what? I work with a lot of clients who it's been, a couple years since they've gone, or maybe this is their first trip with kids. And I tell people all the time, even if your last trip was a year ago or only, 18 months ago, Disney is really great at changing things. Disney is really great at making sure things are always different. Like, there's always something new to learn. So whether the last time you went was when you were a kid and now you're taking your kids for the first time, or even if the last time you guys went was pre-pandemic, which, in theory isn't that long ago, but so much changes with Disney all the time.
Mhm.
And I never, even seasoned Disney veterans who have gone, multiple times, there's never something I can't help them with or something new I can't teach them. So it doesn't matter what end of the spectrum, my clients fall on, been to Disney before or the very first timers, there's always something to help them with or help them do better about than they did on their last trip.
And that's one of those things that makes using a Smart Moms agent so worth it, is because you are monitoring those things. You are up to date on them. And if you take a kid at 5 and you take a kid at 8, that's basically like a new trip. It's like a first time Disney trip, right? Because that custom family experience that you were just mentioning is going to be completely different on that second trip.
And I was talking, I like to do a planning call with my clients, a week or two before their trip, just to make sure they're all squared away. And on one of my calls recently, one of my clients said, I just wish Disney didn't require a PhD to plan. And I was like, well, then I'd be out of a job. So the fact that it is always changing and you can always use me for free and I will help you. You don't have to have the PhD in it. I do. And I will help you be aware of all of the things and know all of the things to make your trip the best that it can be,
Exactly. Using an agent like you, like me, like all of our Smart Moms hosts and everybody in the agency, you use that so you don't have to have the PhD. That is why you do it, right? Oh my gosh, talking to you is so much fun. I feel like I could talk to you forever. We're going to do a lightning lane, which is something we do on this show all the time. But before we do, I want you to plug a couple things. Tell my Smarties where they can find you on Instagram, Facebook. Where are you so they can connect?
Yeah, the best place to find me is Instagram. My handle is The Organized Disney Mom. You will find all of your type A planning tips and tricks coming at you all the time. I love to share insider things, the best way to set up your stroller or save space in your resort room. I mean, I do resort room with 5 people in a standard, so I know a thing or two about, maximizing space and kids and all of the things. I am a self-proclaimed lightning lane strategist, so I have so many highlights on my page about lightning lanes and using them and, hacking the best strategies for getting all of those top-notch rides that you want. So you can find me over at, again, The Organized Disney Mom on Instagram is the place that I love to hang.
Okay. And we'll link that in today's show notes, of course, so that you can find Sarah. Click over there. You seriously just sang to a whole population of Smarties when you said type A, organized, tips, like I think everybody is interested in what you're doing over there.
Come on over and hang. It's a good time. And you always get like a behind the scenes. It is mom life with 3 littles over here. It is real. Peep the stories anytime if you want to know which kid is home from daycare with me for the day and causing me what amount of chaos.
Yeah, just get ready for it to be loud in the background, right? All right, let's do some lightning lane. The only rule here is you have to give me fast answers. Okay. These are all Disney related. Let's rock. Okay. What is your favorite Disney resort?
Polynesian.
Same girl. Best restaurant on Disney property?
Kona Cafe.
Favorite Disney character?
Remy.
Ooh, interesting answer. A ride you'll never skip?
Remy.
We need to unpack this Remy obsession. Do you like to rope drop or park close? I think we already know the answer there. Favorite Epcot festival?
Food and wine.
And go to Disney snack?
Cinnamon roll from Gaston's Tavern.
Wow, you rocked that. Good job. You went through that lightning lane far faster than most of us Smart Moms podcast hosts do. So great job, Sarah. This was literally so much fun. I think our Smarties are absolutely going to just fall in love with you. I know I did over the course of this short interview. So thank you so much again for being here.
Absolutely.
And
thank you for having me. It was super fun.
All right. I want to say thank you so much to Sarah once again. That was amazing. And again, you can find all of her information in today's show notes. I hope we helped you all understand why using a travel agent is not only important, but also fun. Save with your Smart Moms agent, then you can buy a Mickey balloon because your kids are going to be begging and you're going to be like, oh yeah, my travel agent saved me all that money. So now I can buy a Mickey balloon. And for any Smart Moms travel agents listening today, the hidden Mickey will be balloon. But if you're at all interested in becoming a Smart Moms travel agent, that's a thing too. You can join our team, you can party with us and make the magic for others if that's more your jam. Find out more information for that in today's show notes as well. And we hope to see you here, either planning with us or planning alongside us. Either way, we welcome it here. And that's going to do it for us on another episode of the Smart Moms Plan Disney podcast. Thank you again, Katie and Stacy. And until next time, we'll see you real soon. Oh, geez. I'm sorry. Geez Louise. That's my 8 p.m. alarm. Third party.
Third party.
Yeah, third party.
Yes, third party.
Go ahead, Katie.
When you book third party.
Third party.
And we go da 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 da, and it's totally Warner Brothers.
Yeah, it's Looney
That's
Tunes.
Bugs Bunny.
I know, I do it too. Looney Tunes.
Because Mickey Mouse would be, now it's time to say goodbye to all our company.
Hey, Stacy, do you want to record that? And we can just put that on the end of every
No.
episode going forward.
But I do love that song.
Do you think we got it?
I liked it. It's good.
Think we got it? Okay.
Oh my gosh.
That's wild.